Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam Wolf, and in this video, in a attempt to diversify some of the content on my channel, I will be taking a look at this video. Excuse me. I'll be taking a look at this video that my brother sent me, Chris. I'll leave his channel in the description if you'd like to go check out his stuff on NVIDIA's breakthrough AI chip that apparently will be in upcoming GPUs that they have in their production line. I don't think any of this will show up, or maybe it'll show up in some form in the consumer products, but it does look like they're actually talking more on the business side of things, as you can see in the well, maybe, yeah, no, you could sort of see it, but the B100 GPU, that sounds more of like their workstation lineup of graphics cards. So that's probably where this is more geared towards the industrial side of the industry, if you want to, so to speak, rather than the consumer side of the industry. But I have no doubt that this, if you know they're working on it on the industry side of things, that it could show up on the consumer products as well eventually. And it says defies physics, so I'm not entirely sure what this is, but it's the GTC Supercut. I don't know what GTC is. Gaming Technology Conference? I don't know. Anyway, so it looks like all the parts of this presentation just put together. So let's see what they have to say.
The rate at which we're advancing computing is insane. Over the course of the last 8 years, we've...
Ooh, look at this. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, this is where we're at right here. This one's Hopper. I've never heard of this one. This, I think, this is the consumer product right here. These two haven't shown up yet. I think these might be the commercial, not industrial is what I meant to say. Commercial grade graphics cards for, you know, AutoCAD and stuff like that. So I'm going to try not to stop this video that much, just because, I mean, I don't really have a whole... I don't know anything about this, so we're going to learn together. But this is insane. I've never seen this before. That's nuts.
We've increased computation by 1,000 times. 8 years, 1,000 times.
That's the power of AI right there.
In the good old days of Moore's Law, it was 10x every 5 years, 100 times every 10 years. In the middle of the PC revolution, 100 times every 10 years. In the last 8 years, we've gone 1,000 times. We have 2 more years to go.
That's insane.
The rate at which we're advancing computing is insane. And it's still not fast enough, so we built another chip.
Right.
Hopper is fantastic. But we need bigger GPUs.
Oh, I see what they mean by supercut. They've actually, like, it was probably a very lengthy presentation, so they cut it down and so on. So cut out all the dead air and stuff like that. And
so, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to a very, very big GPU. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this.
Largest chip physically possible, 104 billion transistors. TSMC 4NP process, not nanometer. 10 terabytes per second. I think I'm going to be sick. And then you take 2 of those and put them together. What was the last one? Hold on. It was... Okay, so you got Blackwell, and then you've got Blackwell GPU. You put 2 of those things together, you get double the transistors, of course. Twice the size, a massive leap in compute. Keep in mind, remember, Hopper was the one before Blackwell, which was like 4,000 T-flops. Now it's like 20,000 T, which is... After teraflop, it should be petaflop, so they should just say P-flops. But 128 billion more transistors. 5 times the AI performance, 4 times the on-die memory. See, they did. 20 petaflops of AI performance, 128 gigabytes of high bandwidth memory 3. I'm guessing the E is for Express. 8 terabytes of per second of bandwidth, CUDA enabled. What? Oh, I forgot to close this out. Sorry about that. I don't want different noises playing off. 2 Blackwell GPUs and 1 Grace CPU. I don't know what Grace is. 384 gigabytes of high bandwidth memory. HBM3. 72 ARM Neoverse V2 CPU cores. 900 gigabytes per second of NVLink bandwidth. $40 petaflops? This is commercial for sure. This is like server grade graphics cards. And then you got a compute node. It's basically, they're just building it up, telling you, here's one die, and then you add a second one onto it. That's the next level up. And then it's just showing you the progression of them building the GPU. This is the kind of stuff that they'll have in like their server farms and stuff like that. See? That's all server grade stuff. Are these hot swappable? One massive GPU for generative AI, 72 Blackwell GPUs, 72 of them. Okay. Given what we just saw was in those things, all NVLink connected, copper cabling for 6 times less cost. Compute for trillion parameter scale generative AI, 1.4 exaflops of AI performance. That's after petaflops. 30 terabytes of HBM3. How big is this thing? Is that like server size or like server case size? Ah! There's your server farm. What the hell? 800 gigabits of connectivity? Liquid cooled. Of course. Freaking better be. Okay, so what they're showing here is what they can sell to the commercial side of the industry. Just server farms that are just the most efficient in the world. That is nuts. For AI, by the way, this is purely for AI. This has nothing to do with the consumer level of things, consumer side of things. Okay. Full data center with 32,000 of these GPUs. Just for AI, mostly. 645 exaflops of AI performance. 13 petabytes of memory, 58 petabytes per second of bandwidth, and 16.4 petaflops of in-network computing. These numbers don't exist. They don't exist. And if they're doing it, and I said it before, if they're doing it on the commercial side of things, this stuff will come to consumer, albeit at a much lower capacity, but it will come to consumers, or at least they'll use the technology that they've learned on the commercial side to implement into the consumer side.
Blackwell is not a chip. Blackwell is the name of a platform. People think we make GPUs, and we do, but GPUs don't look the way they used to.
No.
This is the most advanced GPU in the world in production today. This is Hopper.
As far as he knows, we don't know what AMD is working on. AMD has been on the commercial side of things for a long time. So as far as he knows, that's the most powerful. And I'm sure he's well more informed than I am. So he probably already knows what AMD has on the back burner. And they obviously more than likely don't have anything this powerful.
Hopper changed the world. This is Blackwell.
It's almost twice the size. See, now look at, we're scaling up again while we're scaling down. It's crazy.
It's okay, Hopper. 208 billion transistors.
Jensen's funny.
And so you could see, I can see, there's a small line between two dies. This is the first time two dies have abutted like this together in such a way that the two dies think it's one chip. There's 10 terabytes of data between it, 10 terabytes per second, so that these two sides of the Blackwell chip have no clue which side they're on. There's no memory locality issues, no cache issues.
Can you imagine the power that could actually put into a consumer-grade chip? How fast our consumer-grade graphics cards would be. They'd be unaffordable, but the amount of computations in one go is astronomical. Our games would improve tenfold, I think, at that point, if one of these chips was on our graphics cards in our consumer grade systems.
It's just one giant chip. When we were told that Blackwell's ambitions were beyond the limits of physics, the engineer said, so what? And so this is what happened. And so this is the Blackwell.
There's always somebody who comes up with another idea.
And it goes into
look at, there's two of them right there on that one board.
One
I thought, and that's the thing, we looked at those illustrations. I thought it'd be smaller. Look at the size of that thing. That's a motherboard. The whole thing is just a motherboard.
Function compatible to Hopper. And so you slide out Hopper and you push in Blackwell. That's the reason why one of the challenges of ramping is going to be so efficient. There are installations of Hoppers all over the world, and the same infrastructure, same design.
There's no doubt in my mind they're using this in their own systems for their GeForce Now cloud computing.
The software, identical.
Why wouldn't they use their own product, right?
This is a Hopper version for the current HGX.
If you guys don't know, this guy is
the second Hopper.
I think one of the founders of NVIDIA.
Now, this is a prototype board.
This man is a millionaire.
And this is a fully functioning board.
He is rich.
Be careful here.
Yeah,
this
please
right
be careful.
I don't
Look
know,
at that.
$10 billion.
That's obviously an over-exaggeration.
Second one's
but
$5.
It's really expensive. It's
So
really
the way
expensive.
it's going to go to production is like this one here. 2 Blackwell chips and 4 Blackwell dies connected to a Grace CPU. The Grace CPU has a super fast chip-to-chip link. What's amazing is this computer is the first of its kind where this much computation fits into this small of a place.
So I can't remember what he said about the bigger board. That looks like Blackwell as well, but it looks like they've reduced the size. That might be their initial, the one on the left might be their initial prototype. And of course, you know, as you are developing your research and developing a new technology, it starts off big because you're trying to connect the dots here. And then they find more efficient ways to make it smaller and smaller. And I think the one on the right is what they're going into production with.
But we need a whole lot of new features in order to push the limits beyond, if you will, the limits of physics. And so one of the things that we did was we invented another transformer engine. And so this new transformer engine, we have a 5th generation NVLink. It's now twice as fast as Hopper, but very importantly, it has computation in the network. And the reason for that is because when you have so many different GPUs working together, we have to share our information with each other. We have to synchronize and update each other. Having extraordinarily fast links and being able to do mathematics right in the network allows us to essentially amplify even further. So even though it's 1.8 terabytes per second, it's effectively higher than that. And so it's many times that of Hopper. Overall, compared to Hopper, it is 2.5 times the FP8 performance for training per chip. It also has this new format called FP6, so that even though the computation speed is the same,
keep in mind, I don't know what any of this
the amount of
means.
parameters you can store in the memory is now amplified.
I might know a thing or two about how to build a computer and certain aspects of computing, but this is beyond my feeble little brain.
4 effectively doubles the throughput. This is
I just know that
vitally
HBM
important
is high
for
bandwidth memory.
inference. The amount of energy we save, the
I don't
amount
know
of
what
networking
FP4 and
bandwidth we
FP6
save,
is.
the amount of wasted time we save will be tremendous. The future
Thought something was
is
wrong with my eyes.
generative,
This is extremely
which is the
blurry.
reason why we call it generative AI, which is the reason why this is a brand new industry. The way we compute is fundamentally different. We created a processor for the generative AI era. And one of the most important parts of it is content token generation.
The craziest part about all this is that they're using it for generative AI. You know how easily they could use this to compute? I don't know if maybe you could use it to compute for like quantum physics or quantum computing, not quantum physics, quantum computing. I know that quantum computing, I think, is more CPU related than GPU, but like if you somehow figure a way to combine that or whatever, like I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use this kind of power in a GPU to use for quantum computing.
Call it, this format is FP4. That's a lot of computation. 5x
Blackwell AI supercomputer. There you go.
the token generation, 5x the inference capability of Hopper seems like enough. But why stop there? And so we would
It's
like
never
to have
gonna
a
stop.
bigger GPU, even bigger than this one. And so we decided to scale it. So we built another chip. This chip is just an incredible chip. We call it the NVLink switch. It's 50 billion transistors. It's almost the size of Hopper all by itself. This switch chip has 4 NVLinks in it, each 1.8 terabytes per second. What is this chip for? If we were to build such a chip, we can have every single GPU talk to every other GPU at full speed at the same time.
No, yeah, okay. So no physical NVLink bridge. It's built into the chip, which is then attached to the motherboard, which is attached to the GPUs via copper wires, which are way faster than a separate connection that they'd have to put through a PCI lane or something like that. Instead, they have it in the chip, which is connected to the motherboard, which is then connected to the GPUs, which is insanely fast. That is nuts.
That's insane. And as a result,
And it's got 4
you can build a
NVLinks
system
on there.
that looks like this. This is what a DGX looks like now. Remember, just 6 years ago, I delivered the first DGX-1 to OpenAI. That DGX, by the way, was...
I'm gonna stop real quick. I want to take a look and see. When was this? This was 2 weeks ago. I wonder if they have like the full thing, like separated. Oh, here we go. Official keynote intro. It doesn't look like it. Was it a live thing? Ah, there it is. Now we know why somebody else uploaded it as something separate. It's a 2-hour conference. All right, I'll take this.
170 teraflops. That's 0.17 petaflops. So this is 720. And so this is now 720 petaflops, almost an exaflop for training, and the world's first 1 exaflops machine in 1 rack.
Waiting for that applause.
Just so you know, there are only a couple, 2, 3 exaflops machines on the planet as we speak. And so this is an exaflops
Are they owned by IBM?
AI system in one single rack. Well, let's take a look at the back of it. So this is what makes it possible. That's the back. That's the back. The DGX.
Okay, so we got
NVLink.
Looks like he brought some 1U slot server racks here, or server blades, and we're gonna get to see inside of them. That's pretty sick.
130 terabytes per second goes through the back of that.
Look at how gorgeous that wiring is.
That is more than the aggregate bandwidth of the internet. We could basically send everything to everybody within a second. 5,000 NVLink cables, in total 2 miles. Now this is the amazing thing. If we had to use optics, we would have had to use transceivers and retimers, and those transceivers and retimers alone would have cost 20,000 watts. 2 kilowatts of just transceivers alone, just to drive the NVLink spine. As a result, we did it completely for free over NVLink switch, and we were able to save the 20 kilowatts for computation. This entire rack is 120 kilowatts, so that 20 kilowatts makes a huge difference. It's liquid cooled. What goes in is 25 degrees C, about room temperature. What comes out is 45 degrees C, about your jacuzzi. So room temperature goes in, jacuzzi comes out, 2 liters per second. We could sell a peripheral.
2 liters per second? Just think about a 2-liter bottle of soda. That's how much water per second is going into these machines.
600,000 parts. Somebody used to say, you know, you guys make GPUs, and we do, but this is what a GPU looks like to me. When somebody says GPU, I see this. 2 years ago,
he sees that because that's where all the money is.
When I saw a GPU, it was the HGX. It was 70 pounds, 35,000 parts. Our GPUs now are 600,000 parts and 3,000 pounds. Okay, so 3,000 pounds, ton and a half. So it's not quite an elephant. Now let's see what it looks like in operation. If you were to train a GPT model, 1.8 trillion parameter model.
15 megawatts.
It took about 3 to 5 months or so with 25,000 amperes. If we were to do it with Hopper, it would probably take something like 8,000 GPUs, and it would consume 15 megawatts. 8,000 GPUs and 15 megawatts. It would take 90 days, about 3 months.
That's so much electricity.
If you were to use Blackwell to do this,
so much power,
it would only take 2,000 GPUs. 2,000 GPUs.
A fourth?
Same 90 days, but this is the amount.
And only 4 megawatts? Look at that efficiency. Again, I don't know much about the commercial side of things when it comes to their GPUs, but I do understand just how much of a scale down that is when it comes to not only power efficiency, but also the efficiency of the GPUs themselves. That's insane. To scale it down that much, but still produce more processing power. That's unbelievable. I didn't click into that. What the hell?
Amazing part. Only 4 megawatts of power. So from 15, yeah, that's right.
A fourth of the GPUs and a fraction of the power.
Launch in our history. And so I can't wait to see that. Let's talk about the next wave of robotics, the next wave of AI, robotics, physical AI. So far, all of the AI that we've talked about is one computer. Data comes into one computer. We take all of the data, we put it into a system like DGX, we compress it into a large language model. Trillions of tokens becomes billions of parameters. These billions of parameters becomes your AI. So I just described in very simple terms essentially what just happened in large language models, except the ChatGPT moment for robotics may be right around the corner. And so we've been building the end-to-end systems for robotics for some time. I'm super, super proud of the work. We have the AI system, DGX. We have the lower system, which is called AGX, for autonomous systems. The world's first robotics processor. When we first built this thing, people are, what are you guys building? It's an SoC, it's one chip, it's designed to be very low power, but it's designed for high-speed sensor processing and AI. And so if you want to run transformers in a car or anything that moves, we have the perfect computer for you. It's called the Jetson. And so the DGX on top for training the AI, the Jetson is the autonomous processor, and in the middle, we need another computer. We need a simulation engine that represents the world digitally for the robot, so that the robot has a gym to go learn how to be a robot. We call that virtual world Omniverse. And the computer that runs Omniverse is called OVX. And OVX, the computer itself, is hosted in the Azure cloud. Okay? And so basically, we built these three things.
So they're using Microsoft's Azure cloud to power
every
that.
Single one. Now, I'm going to show you
or to
one
distribute
super
it.
example of how AI and Omniverse are going to work together. The example I'm going to show you is kind of insane, but it's going to be very, very close to tomorrow. It's a robotics building. This robotics building is called a warehouse. Inside the robotics building are going to be some autonomous systems. Some of the autonomous systems are going to be called humans, and some of the autonomous systems are going to be called forklifts. And these autonomous systems are going to interact with each other, of course, autonomously, and it's going to be overlooked upon by this warehouse to keep everybody out of harm's way. The warehouse is essentially an air traffic controller. And whenever it sees something happening, it will redirect traffic and give new waypoints, just new waypoints to the robots and the people, and they'll know exactly what to do. This warehouse, this building, you can also talk to. Of course you could talk to it. Hey, and all of this is running in real time. What about all the robots? All of those robots you were seeing just now, they're all running their own autonomous robotic stack.
Wait, so he's saying that the humanoids are also robots? I thought he was like, saying that the forklifts and all this other stuff, those are all the robots, and then you've got humans in the mix that are kind of overseeing the operations.
Let's talk about robotics. Everything that moves will be robotic. There's no question about that. It's safer, it's more convenient, and one of the largest industries is going to be automotive.
Safer is up for debate at the moment. I mean, yes, the amount of, I personally would trust a robotic driver as opposed to a real driver because, well, real drivers suck. But, and in terms of vehicular deaths caused by robotics or AI is extremely low, but that's also given that AI hasn't been driving cars for very long. So, but as time goes on, the technology will improve and eventually, well, hopefully zero deaths. But we'll, that again, debatable. I personally think it's a cool idea. A lot of people are kind of not on it.
Beginning of next year, we will be shipping in Mercedes, and then shortly
But with
after
this
that,
computing
JLR.
power, this kind of computing
Today,
power,
we're
I mean, I
announcing
have no
that
doubt that it
BYD,
would be
the world's largest EV company, is adopting our next generation.
It's going to just improve to a point where it's like
Thor is designed for transformer
you'll never
engines.
hear of a death
Thor,
caused by
our
an AI car.
next generation AV computer will be used by BYD. The next generation of robotics will likely be a humanoid robotics. We now have the necessary technology to imagine generalized human robotics. In a way, human robotics is likely easier, and the reason for that is because we have a lot more training data that we can provide the robots because we are constructed in a very similar way. It could be in video form, it could be in virtual reality form. We then created a gym for it called Isaac Reinforcement Learning Gym, which allows the humanoid robot to learn how to adapt to the physical world, and then an incredible computer, the same computer that's going to go into a robotic car, this computer will run inside
how is that what it said? I didn't read it.
The physical world.
Cool move. Can you give us some cool moves? And the first thing it does is
the same computer that's going to go into a robotic car, this computer will run inside a humanoid robot.
Cool move, bro.
Thor. It's designed for transformer engines. The soul of NVIDIA, the intersection of computer graphics, physics, artificial intelligence. It all came to bear at this moment. The name of that project, General Robotics 003. I know, super good. Super good.
Yeah, very unique name, 003.
Well, I think we have some special guests. Do we?
What the? I don't remember those from Star Wars.
Hey guys. So I understand you guys are powered by Jetson. They're powered by Jetsons. Little Jetson robotics computers inside.
Think about this. This is very risky for him to do, to have physical proof that this is going to work, because something could go wrong and, you know, one of the robots stops responding or something like that. So doing in-person demonstrations like this is very risky, but hopefully it works out.
They learn to walk in Isaac Sim. Ladies and gentlemen, this is orange, and this is the famous green. They are the BDX robots of Disney. Amazing Disney research. Come on, you guys, let's wrap up.
Can you imagine? And he's just gonna walk away.
5 things. Where are you going? What are you saying? No, it's not time to eat. It's not time to eat. I'll give you a snack in a moment. Let me finish up real quick. First, a new industrial revolution. Every data center should be accelerated. $1 trillion worth of installed data centers will become modernized over the next several years. Second, the computer of this revolution, the computer of this generation, generative AI, trillion parameters. This is what we announced to you today. This is Blackwell. Amazing, amazing processors, NVLink switches, networking systems, and the system design is a miracle. This is Blackwell. And this, to me, is what a GPU looks like in my mind. Everything that moves in the future will be robotic. You're not going to be the only one. And these robotic systems, whether they are humanoid, AMRs, self-driving cars, forklifts, manipulating arms, they will all need one thing. Giant stadiums, warehouses, factories. There can be factories that are robotic, manufacturing lines that are robotics, building cars that are robotics. These systems all need one thing. They need a platform, a digital platform, a digital twin platform, and we call that Omniverse, the operating system of the robotics world. Thank you!
Can I just say, I hate it when YouTube videos do this, where it's like, they don't have a proper like end screen. It'd be better if when he edited the video, he scaled down the original video so he could put this and this on the side or something like that without covering up the rest of the video. I know it's ending, but it's like, I don't like it when videos do that. Like, put a proper end screen on your videos, please. That is absolutely insane. Can you imagine if AI was so good that they could use those physical robots for a movie and the robot would just do as it's told in the movie? You wouldn't need puppeteers anymore. They would just do. That would be awesome to find out that AI was involved in the making of a Star Trek or a Star Wars for the robots that exist within those universes. NVIDIA has their own universe at this point, and keep in mind, this is all just for AI. This has nothing to do with the gaming side of things or the consumer side of things. It has everything to do with the commercial side of things, and all of that computational power is just for AI in any aspect, which is insane. I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak on this topic because I don't know AI. I'm not a programmer. All I know is that AI is the future. And as Philip DeFranco does love to remind us, it is the worst that it's ever going to be right now. And if this is something that we can replace with robots, assembly line, warehouse work, all that stuff, to alleviate the stress that it takes on human beings so that we can realize our full potential in other aspects of society, then bring it on. Bring it on. And if NVIDIA's at the forefront of this, fine. Let's get it going. Let's get it rolling. Because AI, believe it or not, and whether you accept it or not, it is the future. And it's coming. And it's coming very quickly. Don't take that out of context. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And please join me again in the next one where maybe I'll take a suggestion from you guys. You know, like tweet at me on X, or, you know, you guys don't have my Discord. But somehow get in touch with me if you want to leave a suggestion for something that you'd like my input on. I'm open to most suggestions in gaming, in technology. I guess most things. I'm trying not to go to the political spectrum because I don't like politics, even though I do have opinions. But yeah, if you want to suggest a video that you'd like to see my thoughts on, let me know. Leave a comment with a link to it if you'd like in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think of what we just saw. Are the numbers just as mind-boggling to you as they are to me? Because, yeah, they are. Even though I understood, I guess, a large majority of what was going on, it's still just the numbers are beyond me, and AI is rapidly advancing, and I think we just need to see how this goes, see where it goes, and hope that it improves society, not crumble it. But until the next video, I'm Adam Wolf, and I'll see you guys later.